Round Football Show. It is Thursday, September the 12th. Tonight, I'm going to be, or this morning, I'm actually going to be talking about tonight's football game between the New England Patriots and the New York Jets. And then I'm also going to touch on a little bit of college football for this upcoming Saturday. It's the game, really the game of the year, Texas A&M versus Alabama. Now, about tonight's game between the Jets and Patriots, it's an interesting matchup because you got two teams that, quite frankly, struggled last week. New England struggled against a Baltimore team that had a rookie quarterback, rookie head coach, and it was a game that really they could have and maybe even should have lost. Then the Jets, they struggled against Tampa Bay, a game really the Jets should have lost. But because of Tampa Bay's ineptitude and some good play by and heads up play by Geno Smith, their rookie quarterback, they was able to come out of that game with a victory. Now, they play tonight in Foxborough. Now, this is an important game primarily for Geno Smith because New England has been one of the top echelon teams for the past 12, say almost 12 years now. New England has been one of the upper echelon teams. And he's going up against a Hall of Fame head coach in Bill Belichick. It's important that Geno Smith plays well tonight. He doesn't have to necessarily win the game, but he cannot be the reason they lose. Okay? There are people who want this man to fail. Remember, there was a reason why you was drafted in the second round. Because people did not believe you was ready to command an NFL huddle in your first year. Well, here's a good opportunity to start proving these people wrong. You did a good job against Tampa Bay, but a lot of people was like, well, that was Tampa Bay. But now he plays a real team in New England. Well, here is a chance to show that it doesn't matter if it's Tampa Bay, New England, it can be Baltimore, you can play in this league. Here's what you need to do. Take care of the football. In other words, do not throw high over the middle. Anytime you throw high over the middle in this league, the ball, 9 out of 10 times, will get picked off. So keep that ball, get that ball down. Keep that ball down. I'd rather you throw that ball too low than too high. Okay? Also, it's important that his offensive line gives him some protection because we've seen that when protected, he's really pretty good. He throws an accurate, strong ball. Okay? He doesn't have the greatest of receivers, so he basically waits until they're open. That's something he's going to have to work on. He's going to have to start anticipating where the receiver is going to go. Because in this league, guys isn't going to be open too long. So he has to, and I got confidence in him. I believe that he can play at this level, and I believe he's going to actually do well this Thursday. Though I do not think the Jets will win this game. I suspect New England will win by at least 10 points. But this game is going to be competitive because the Jets' defense wants to go out there and prove that, quite frankly, that they can play with the New England Patriots. So I expect this to be a defensive type game. Now, there are some other important games coming up this also Sunday in the NFL. And one of which is going to be the San Francisco 49ers and the Seattle Seahawks. I was about to call it Seattle Sea Chickens, but no, they're Seattle Seahawks. I got Seattle Sea Chickens from a popular talk show host a couple of years ago. He would call Seattle Sea Chickens, but they're really the Seattle Seahawks. This game is in Seattle, and you have two young, promising quarterbacks in Russell Wilson and Colin Kaepernick. I mean, these two guys are very dynamic. And I expect this to be a good, competitive, hard-fought game between two teams that, quite frankly, don't like one another. I love games like that. Whatever happened to those real rivalries where teams and coaches didn't like one another? That to me really gets my juices flowing when it comes to the NFL. Okay? And so I look at that game. I'm a San Francisco fan, so that's my disclaimer. I'm a San Francisco fan. But excuse me, I do think that Seattle will win this game because they are at home, and it's difficult to win up there now, especially being that they have a good team. All right? And so you have some other interesting matchups as well, but I really want to go back to this past Monday's night's game between the Washington Redskins and the Philadelphia Eagles. What made this game interesting is everybody was talking about Robert Griffin III going into this game. How would he look? Will the offense be in sync? This, that, and the other. Nobody was, and also this being Chip Kelly's game, nobody was talking about really so much the Philadelphia Eagles. Well, they came out with this offense that, quite frankly, is not revolutionizing the game, but what they're doing is they're just playing it at a much faster tempo. And that's causing problems and will cause problems for NFL defenses. However, if this offense is going to work long term, you have to find a way to protect Mike Vick from Mike Vick. Vick is a competitor. That's why I love Vick. He's a competitor. But sometimes the competitiveness gets the better of him. You don't really want your quarterback throwing blocks. And your quarterback has to still learn how to slide. He don't know how to slide properly. Diving headfirst allows the defender to fall on him. Where if he slides feet first, and that is something that I wish he would have learned how to do because he would be even far better. And he would preserve his body by learning how to slide feet first. But that's something I guess he's never been inclined to do. It is what it is. But for this offense to work long term, you really need your quarterback to be mobile because this offense doesn't run the same without the mobile quarterback. Let's just be honest, okay? So, but it was an exciting game this past Monday. And Robert Griffin was rusty. And that is really to be expected. I mean, he hasn't thrown the football. I mean, he hasn't played in live action in 9 months. So therefore, you could not really expect him to have been on his game to the level where, he was last year. It'll take him a couple of weeks to get there. Now, you also got, this upcoming Sunday, you got the Redskins visiting the Packers. Now, the Packers spent all offseason trying to stop this read option. And again, like I told you in a previous episode, you're not going to stop this read option with the defense alone. The best way to slow down this read option is to effectively be able to run the football. Really run and pass, but run the football. Why? Chew up time of possession. Because defenses today are not built to stop offenses because the league is an offensive league. So it's not built to stop defenses today. Defenses are not built to stop offenses today. So you can sit here and tell me, well, you practice this, you practice that. But if the Redskins can effectively pass the football, you're gonna have trouble stopping that read option. Let's just be honest. Now, you also got the Vikings and the Bears this Sunday. The Bears are supposed to have an improved offensive line. That still remains to be seen. If they can protect Jay Cutler can play in this league. He's one of the better quarterbacks in this league if protected. But I'm still not the biggest fan of Jay Cutler. But the Bears have the potential to be dangerous because if they could ever get an offense to go with that defense, they really would be dangerous because they've always had a pretty good defense. So it's going to be interesting to see if Mark Trestman, who is the head coach of the Bears, can continue to keep that defensive tradition while improving their offense. You got the Cowboys and the Chiefs. The Cowboys and the Chiefs makes this an interesting game because, to me, a lot of people is telling me how great Dallas was. No, they weren't this past Sunday, folks. No, they weren't. The Giants turned the ball over 6 times in that game, and yet they were still in position to actually win the game before their final possession, before the end of the last interception. When you turn the ball over four more times, folks, in the NFL, the game should not be that close. But the fact that it was that close was very telling, really, of Dallas's offense. I don't think it's as good as people think it is. But it's the first week, so I'm not going to be one of those who's going to be making week-to-week judgments of a team. But I don't think they played as great as people make them out to be. Now, when we come back, we will be talking about Johnny Manziel and against the Alabama Crimson Tide.